Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Edwin, the Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, and yes, you can decide if I'm pretty or not. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, this is going to be a vinyl update for January 2023, including an unboxing. So I've been trying to be more consistent with my videos. I pretty much took most of last year off. And yeah, I'm trying to think of some creative content. I've got a couple of videos down the pipeline. I did a punk video, my favorite US punk bands, which interestingly didn't take off as much as I suspected. I did a British punk video several years ago, and everyone was talking about it and commenting on it. It's one of my most viewed videos. So I was a little surprised that the US punk band wasn't as interesting to people. So it's a bit hit and miss. I'm trying to think of topics that are interesting. I know these unboxing videos can be popular, and I just got an order in. So let's do that and let's see how this goes. So yeah, this is some vinyl I got from, funny enough, a record store on the opposite side of Canada, Taz Records in Halifax. I was in Taz Records in Halifax many years ago. I was working in Halifax at a conference, and I stumbled across it, and I have visited the store many times. It's a very well-stocked store, both new and used vinyl. And then I started ordering from them online. They do free shipping across Canada if you order a certain amount. So it's funny that I'm on the west coast of Canada, they're in the east coast of Canada, but they do get some cool different records that aren't always stocked everywhere. And with the free shipping, it's a no-brainer. So this is the box I got. So let's take my trusty blade and break open this tape. It looks like it's well packaged together, which is nice. So they did a good job. They've got a couple of pieces of cardboard there to protect my order. Nice Taz Records sticker for the collection. And yeah, I've got three records in this order, and I'm pretty excited about all three of them. The first one is an Elvis Costello greatest hits. This is on Music on Vinyl. This is limited edition of 4,000 individually numbered copies on gold colored vinyl. This is the very best of the Warner Brother years for Elvis Costello. I've never seen this anywhere before. I saw it on their website. I'm like, I'm gonna grab this. This is really cool. There's a couple of these albums I'm missing in my collection because they go into the sort of, that 90s era. This is number 3,943. It does say this compilation came out in 1997. It obviously wouldn't have came out on vinyl. It would have been a CD release at that time. And yeah, you've got everything from like the Juliet Letters, Brutal Youth, the Red Rose. So yeah, some very interesting records that you're not going to get too often. So yeah, very cool. Very excited to have that. That's a good one. The second one is kind of a grail in a sense, in that, again, I don't think it ever came out on vinyl originally, or if it did, it would have been very difficult to get. And that is from Wales, the Manic Street Preachers. I used to love these guys, man. This is the Holy Bible. And this is a fantastic album, Brit rock at its finest. And what a great album cover. Yeah, super happy to have this. The Manic Street Preachers. It's obviously a new pressing. And yeah, $35. I thought that was pretty good. And lastly is an album that I found last year, but of course I started with volume 2, and that is Jazz Sabbath. I absolutely love Jazz Sabbath, and I noticed these guys had volume 1. So I picked that up. Jazz Sabbath, it's a bit of a spoof in the sense that they talk about being actually the originators of the Sabbath songs, and then this heavy metal bar band from Birmingham stole all their ideas, Black Sabbath, and went on to be this super band, basically stealing all of their thunder. And even the names are, Milton Keys, Juan Takey on the drums. They totally have a ton of fun. They say the album was canceled when news broke that the founding member and pianist Milton Keys was hospitalized with a massive heart attack, which left him fighting for his life. The record company took the decision to shelve the album and cancel the scheduled release out of compassion and the financially uncertainty of releasing a debut album without a band, without its musical leader. And it goes on to say that how, this band stole their thunder. And there you have it. Now, there is another famous part to this that this keyboardist, pianist that leads this band is Rick Wakeman from Yes, it's his son. So you imagine if he got a few keyboard piano lessons from his old man, he's probably a pretty decent pianist. So there you have it. Yeah, Jazz Sabbath, now complete with volume 1 and 2. So I did get a few other albums this month already. And I'll start with one that my son actually got me for Christmas. I had a few choices that I put aside at our local record store, and I sort of gave my son the heads up and said, just go down and pick one of them and whatever, right? So he managed to grab me the very best of the Meters, the complete Josie, Reprise, and Warner Brothers singles from 1968 to 1977. The Meters, of course, are a funk band extraordinaire. I think they kind of just rode the line. Like, I don't think they were ever superstars, but in the funk world, totally idolized. And wow, what a great record. This got everything on it from the Chicken Strut all the way up to, the late 70s, real good funk. And I believe in the beginning they were kind of more instrumental and started adding some vocals. And then by the end I think they added a vocalist. I'm not totally sure. I'm no expert on this band, but just the progression of the record, you can see that that's how it goes. Anyway, 3-record set. Sounds absolutely fabulous. It's kind of one of those Reiner Records releases. And that's The Meters. I picked this one up in my local record store up on kind of the Holy Moly wall. Although it wasn't like a crazy price. I think it's just because it's a very interesting album. And the cover is one of the most incredible covers you're ever going to see. And this is Jimmy Cliff's The Harder They Come, which was a soundtrack. I just found the movie on Amazon Prime, so I'm going to watch it. I have never seen the movie that I can remember, unless I saw it way back in high school, when it was kind of cool to watch weird, crazy movies. This is actually a Jamaican pressing. Actually, I want to show you the label, because it's kind of cool. It's on an early Island Records label, which is like a white label, which is kind of cool. The vinyl's fantastic. It was well looked after. It's 1972 original Jamaican release, which is kind of cool. It's mostly Jimmy Cliff with a couple of other artists. There's a Shantytown Desmond Decker song on here. The Slickers sing Johnny Too Bad. The Maytals sing Sweet and Dandy. And the Melodians sing The Rivers of Babylon. You know, that Boney M disco hit. But that's the original, ska version. So yeah, Jimmy Cliff's The Harder They Come. I mean, that cover is just so fantastic, eh? I was happy to get that. This one was something I've been trying to find a decent copy for a couple of years. You don't hear many people talking about Eddie and the Hot Rods, but this is just good old bar rock and roll, kind of almost punk. Just great, intense numbers, energy, lots of energy, and just a great listen from beginning to end. If you can find this record, totally recommend it. It's a bit of a banger. And I guarantee a lot of people watch this have never even heard of Eddie and the Hot Rods. Like it's almost like a made out movie name. And this is a good old fashioned, band that never really hit a huge mark. Also on an early Island label. You got to think like old Chris Blackwell. He had some great artists on the Island label, right? I mean, I think if I had to pick a label that had so many great artists on it, like Island's got to be up there with, like if you ever played that game, I'm only going to collect records from one label, would Island be up there? This is another kind of quintessential post-punk type band from the UK. This is Ultravox. But this is Ultravox before Midge Ure. This is Ultravox with John Fox on the vocals. It's a completely different band. Band with the same name. Great gatefold. Great condition. This is also an original, I believe it's a Canadian release. Funny enough, also on Island Records. I actually didn't do that on purpose. I just realized that this was also on Island as well. Yeah, this is a Canadian pressing from about probably 1979 or 80. Produced by Brian Eno and Steve Lillywhite. So, you got some big chomps there. If you haven't heard this, check it out on YouTube or whatever way you stream music. Again, I can't see the date, but it's going to be early. Next up is a couple of classic albums. This is one that people used to talk a lot about this band, and I could never find originals. Completely impossible. Very, very sought after by this sort of blues rock type people. And this is Budgie, also a Welsh band. This is a 2014 reissue that I guess got reissued again. And great artwork, always with the Budgie head. It was a power trio, kind of blues rock influence. Yeah, happy enough with it. Didn't blow my socks off, but yeah, they got good rhythms, good beats. It's a good Saturday night, get in the mood kind of album. And it's an 8 out of 10. And you can see, why they were never worldwide stars. Just very good, very good rhythms. And like I said, like that heavy blues rock, kind of what was happening at the time in England. I guess Zeppelin started it and all the other bands that followed. And yeah, but the artwork, absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10 for the artwork. And that's Budgie, power trio from Wales. This is another classic rock album that a lot of people rave about, and I'd never heard of it. I'm that guy that's only familiar with, that one Procol Harum song, and then people talk about this album, A Salty Dog, and I saw this at a used record store. I was just checking to see if it was on Island, but it's actually on A&M Records, in case you want to see, just the gold. And this is a U.S. pressing. It's got a bit of ring wear on it, but the vinyl's perfect. I guess this is kind of their concept album. And yeah, it's good. I'm gonna need to give it another listen. And yeah, I'm hoping I can really get into this, because the critics and some members of the vinyl community just sort of thrive on this album. And it's hard to get. You know, I think that's the first time I've ever seen it in the wild, with her attending record shows everywhere, shopping everywhere around the world. And yeah, that's Procol Harum, A Salty Dog. You can see the ring wear on the back there. And then this one's also a bit of a hard one to find. They recently reissued the second album on Music on Vinyl, which I don't have, that I'm going to find. It's easier to get, but this is the first Tin Machine record, the David Bowie band that he tried to do in the late 80s, early 90s, 1989 this came out. To sort of, you know, as Bowie always did, try and find a new avenue, a new way to connect. I think he had a couple of bummer solo albums, and he decided to, you know, rock things up a bit. This is on EMI USA. And yeah, I always liked Tin Machine. As a kid, I got into it, and both albums have tracks that are really good. They're not amazing all the way through. This has the Lennon Working Class Hero version on it. And yeah, I think Tin Machine's just fine. I think it was a great creative avenue, and I like the whole idea. I like the concept. And I think it would have been cool to see it live. You know, it would have been totally different. I saw Bowie many times throughout, from Let's Dance, Spiders from Mars, what was the other tours? Anyway, I saw him with Duran Duran one time, and but I probably saw him maybe half a dozen times, but I never did get to see Tin Machine. I think that would have been really cool to see that. And then my last one I'm going to show you today is an album that I had streamed quite a bit at the latter end of last year, and I wanted to get it. I tried to order it. It was impossible to find. And then I finally found it at a shop in Vancouver. My daughter actually got me a gift card for the shop for Christmas, so I was able to use that for this. And this is Ants Up There. This is a box set. So it includes four sides of the album, Black Country, New Road. And then it also includes a double album of a live show they did from the Queen Elizabeth Hall, which I believe is in South Bank Center in England. And yeah, this is like, you know, alternative rock. The guy has a very unique voice. And put it this way, I had it on the other night, and my wife walked in here and she's like, "What are you listening to? Like, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard." And I could see, you know, it is definitely something a little different, but I think it's very cool. The artwork's incredible. This box set kind of came with a lot of stuff. You know, you got the vinyl for the, you know, the labels are pretty like independent, like side A, side B, blah, 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 blah. There's some artwork that they have. I would have to know more about what this all means. I'm assuming it connects to some of these song titles. And then there's a book with photos of the band and some lyrics for all the songs. And yeah, so when I was streaming it, I thought it was super interesting, very different than anything I'd heard recently. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to get this album. I really like it. And, I'm enjoying it. And regardless of what my wife says, I think they're pretty cool. I think they'd be good live. I've listened to the live thing once. And I think, these guys playing some indie festival somewhere, they'd probably be like the stars of the show. And their musicianship is very good. So yeah, that's Ants from Up There. Nice box set. So yeah, that's my my start to the year. So we're off to a good start for vinyl collecting in 2023. Everybody, thanks for watching my video. If you stopped by for the first time, if you made it to the end of the video, I'm trying to build my channel. I'm trying to be more consistent. And, I'm looking forward to connecting more with you guys and doing more videos. I'm going to be at least one a week. I'm going to make that commitment. So please sub my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time on the Pretty Green Vinyl Guy YouTube channel. Cheers, everyone.